This is the most uncool, but most important tutorial you'll probably watch in a few weeks. So, when it comes to playback text on stage, the most important, one of the most important parts of our rig is something none of us ever think about. I did a tutorial on this about a year ago, but one of the most important parts that we never even consider is this, our cables. In particular, our USB cables. I've heard multiple scenarios of people having issues with their interface where it disconnects, or they'll have issues with white noise suddenly coming out of their interface, and it's all because of the USB cables. And you go, well, that's kind of frustrating. You know, the interface should be fixed. We should do something different there? But it's on us, because when it comes to USB cables, we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on our rig, and then we go, hey Joe, do you have a USB cable? Because we forgot to bring one, and we pull up a USB cable that has had road cases rolled all over it. It's covered in not gaff tape, but duct tape, and it's super sticky and a piece of junk. And our entire show is dependent on this cheap cable. So what I wanted to do today is share a way that I found to help me no longer have crappy cables, that's going to save your gig, that has helped me. And this is a fun kind of weekend improvement project. Again, it's super stupid, but it's really important. That would be a cable tester. In particular, this is the one I have. You do you buy whatever you want to, but this is the Behringer CT 200. It's 100 better than the CT 100. But basically what it allows you to do is test all of your cables. It's AA, two AA batteries. It's battery powered. So there's a lot you could do with this, but what I thought I would do, again, really stupid, but helpful tutorial, is show you what I do with all my cables now. And so I've got this cable tester. I just recently put new batteries in it, and I was just going to test a couple different types of cables. What's really cool about this, we can test XLR cables. It's got the little speak-on Neutrix connector thing, TRS cables as well too. Got a little RCA connectors there, Ethernet connectors, 5-pin DIN MIDI, USB, and then 1/8 inch. So almost every type of connector that you need is on this, which is really cool. So let's talk about how this works. Again, this is not going to be a very long test whatsoever. So I'm going to just turn this on to the cable tester mode here. You can get this little light that says it's turned on. I know it's pretty bright, so it's difficult to see, but let's walk through this. So I'm going to take this USB cable here. This is for a product I'm testing out now. I'll turn this over, and you can see in and out on this guy. So I'm going to plug the outside into there, and then plug this into here. And what it's essentially going to do, I don't understand the basics. Someone really smart, smarter than I, will comment in the comments and tell me why this isn't a good idea, and you should get the little meter thing that when you put it together, it sparks, that we all played with as kids. You do you, whatever works for you. But it's connected. I don't know what it's doing. It's testing the connection. But as you flip this over, what you want to do, I press this reset button just so I'm resetting. And then let me actually plug it back in with the reset on. Okay, I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to let it sit. And basically, you get a pass or a intermittent fail. So again, hard to see. Intermittent. That's hard to say. See that right there, 44. So it's telling me that passed. Okay, so basically the connection from either side of those cables is good. So that's a good cable. Let me compare that. I did, spoiler alert, I tested this a little bit before we got started. I found another cable that gave me an interesting message that said it passed, but there's an issue with the ground. So let me show you what that looks like. So we'll plug this in here. Again, I'm going to do a reset. And even when I reset, you'll see now that it says pass, but it says ground shield. So there's an issue with that. So I might keep this around for like internal testing, but I'm not going to take this cable on the road. Again, anyone that knows better than me, comment and let me know what the heck ground shield means there. But it's enough of an error message that I'm not going to trust this cable, and likely may just throw it away. A couple other things we'll do. Again, you're like, wow, Will, really exciting tutorial. But I'm telling you, I think it's funny because in the studio, I mean, we spend $8,000 on the most pristine preamps, and studio people, they just geek out on every little detail and how everything's wired. And for live, we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars building rigs to rely on this cheap little USB cable, again, that's run over and has been covered in duct tape. So we can all do a little better. So let's do a little better. Okay, a couple more cables here. Plug an Ethernet cable in. Which again, this is great. Test every single cable you have to know that it's good. Throw away the ones that are not. You can see that passed, right? I'll show you that. See that that pass there. So it shows us that, which is really good. And then let's do our last one here. I love that this actually is 5-pin DIN MIDI as well too. If I can ever get this unplugged, I can do this. It's probably not going to pass now that I'm about to break the Ethernet cable. 5-pin DIN MIDI, we've got that right there. So we'll plug that in. Surprising that my cables last at all the way I treat them and tangle them all up and put them in drawers labeled. But there's that 55. You can see that is working there. So here's the thing. Again, most boring, but most important tutorial you're going to watch in a couple weeks, potentially maybe ever. But this thing is going to potentially save your gig, potentially going to save your job. And it's only, let's click here and see. I don't even remember how much I paid for this. It's only $45. So please, all of us out there. And again, if you have another one you like and use, comment, leave a link. That's great. That's awesome. But for 45 bucks, please everyone go out and buy this. Test all your cables, make the artist that you're working with happy, and save your show. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you like content like this, not everything is me plugging cables into a cable tester. But if you like using Ableton Live on stage, not necessarily in the studio, not necessarily for sound design, but you're someone who wants to perform like a pro on stage with Ableton Live, then consider subscribing to the channel, hit the like button. I checked the stats of this and it says the majority of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So please subscribe. It's free. It helps support this, helps me keep creating free content. And if you want to dive a little deeper into playback on stage, then head to FromStudioToStage.com. Click the link in the description below to get that. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody. Take care.